Drill Sergeants of Reddit. What was the funniest thing a recruit said? Story 1. At basic, I got the whole DS team laughing from a comment. DS starts yelling at me in my face about God knows what, on and on. He is from the deep south and has a super strong Mississippi accent. I am an immigrant from South Africa. My accent sounds English or Australian to US people, only being in the USA for a few years and have been living in Oregon. And honestly, I can only understand a bit of what he is saying. At the end, he concludes with, "Do you understand the words coming out of my mouth, Private?" I replied, "Drill Sergeant, no. I am really struggling with your accent, Drill Sergeant." There was silence for a bit. Then they all started laughing. Story 2. Marching the troops back to the barracks after lunch, I noticed a recruit with a white stain on his hip pocket. I halted the platoon and got in the recruit's face. Me. "Recruit! That white stain on your shirt better be because you are excited for this afternoon's training." Recruit. "No, Sergeant. I am saving my snack for later." Me. "What snack are you saving?" Recruit. I scream. Story 3. My dad tells me this story all the time. Back in the 80s, when he was doing basic training, the DS was going down the line asking why everyone joined. And my dad was like, "Oh no, I don't have a good answer for this," and was nervous. DS goes to the guy next to my dad, asks the question, and the guy says, "To defend my country, sir." DS goes, "You're lying. You're here for the money and the education." And that became everyone's answer. Story 4. The recruit fired all his blank ammo during ambush response training. He crawled into the ditch opposite where the enemies were and started throwing rocks at them. DI came running into the middle of the road, blowing his whistle and screaming, "What the F do you think you're doing?" Recruit screamed back, "Throwing hand grenades, Drill Sergeant!" Without missing a beat, the DI screamed, "Out effing standing," and walked away. Story 5. Not an instructor, but was a recruit. I and another recruit were in the hall, putting away the marching flags when the petty officer second class strolled up to us. He was the toughest of the bunch, but he had his moments. He looked at us and then at the door guard and whispered to us, "Watch this." He approached the door guard and screamed in his face, "Who is your least favorite RDC?" Recruit Division Commander. The door guard panicked and muttered he liked them all. He screamed, "You liar," before walking off with a grin. A couple of hours later, he did the same thing to our sister division, but apparently that door guard prepared herself. "Who is your least favorite RDC?" DG without missing a beat. "I don't know who she is, but the petty officer in different division is pretty rude." PO just as fast. "I don't like her either." Then they both turned away while everyone tried not to laugh. Story 6. Not a DS, but doing my best to translate ranks, etc. From the Finnish military. I served as an instructor for the conscripts during the later half of my conscript service. We were testing how well the new conscripts had learned the ranks of our military. They would wait in line, and when it was their turn, I would show them a piece of paper with the symbol of a rank in it. They would address me properly, tell me their name, and say the rank. For example, Sir Corporal Sir, conscript last name, a captain. The rank depicted on the piece of paper I showed was Corporal, which was also my rank and thus on my jacket, very visibly. The new conscript first addressed me, "Sir General, sir." I raised an eyebrow, and he quickly tried to fix his mistake. "Sir Second General, sir." A rank that would be right below General if it existed, which it does not. The conscript behind him made a chuckle, so he fixed his mistake again, saying, "Sir Corporal, sir. Conscript last name. I don't remember the rank you are showing." I said, "You just said it." He went quiet in thought for a few seconds, then happily said, "A conscript." Story 7. I remember when I was in boot camp. We were in the squad bay cleaning our rifles. One recruit was in crutches, so he was just sitting down, basically watching us clean ours. Drill instructor walks over and asks, WTF is he doing? Recruit. This recruit doesn't have a DI. You don't say. Start cleaning your crutch, recruit. Recruit. The crutch, sir? DI. Yes. Now clean it and say the crutch creed. Recruit. Starts to brush his crutch. This is my crutch. There are many like it, but this one is mine. Without me, my crutch is useless. Without my crutch, I am useless. DI. What the? Shut up, recruit! Drill instructor had to walk away and put his hat in front of his face so we couldn't see him laugh. We all had a good laugh about it that night during square away time. There are plenty more stories that made us laugh once boot camp was over. Story 8. I ordered the platoon to form up facing west. One troop asked, Mr. Corporal, our west or your west? I just walked away angrily and let his peers sort him out. I came back out of my office and they were facing east. Story 9. Asked a private the difference between cover and concealment. Private said, Drill Sergeant, you asked what seems like a very important question which I am supposed to know the answer to. However, this private was imagining not being called on and was not paying attention to the question. Drill Sergeant. Story 10. Not necessarily what a recruit said but had to do. Imagine this. 0500 in physical training formation. Everyone is dressed in the proper uniform. Gray shirt, blue shorts, white socks, and a shiny new pair of New Balance dad shoes. Except for one recruit. That recruit realized he didn't have clean white socks while getting ready and thought it would be okay to join the formation in knee-high green socks. The following conversation transpired. Drill Sergeant. Trainee, what the heck do you have on? TD. Ma'am, I didn't have clean white socks, so I used my uniform socks instead. DS. Trainee, do you know what covert ops is? TD. Yes, ma'am. DS. Trainee, I want you to covert ops your ass over to the barracks and acquire a pair of white socks from your laundry bag. TD. Stares blankly. DS. Low crawl to the barracks and get the correct pair of socks on your feet. TD. Does what he's told and low crawls nearly a mile to the barracks, nearly passed away from exhaustion and humiliation. Sincerely, that one trainee. Story 11. Not a DS but a Navy recruit. I was on colors duty and it's kind of windy in Chicago. One time, we did not tie the fastening ropes well enough, so the flag ended up half-mast. Our RDC retrieves me and the other recruit from class an hour later and proceeds to yell at us and asks, Who the F passed away? The other recruit, without missing a beat, says, Chris Farley, which was technically true cause he passed away a few days before. The RDC had to leave to compose himself, before proceeding to have us stand at attention for a few hours, while all the other sheep RDCs came by and made fun or yelled at us, making Farley and SNL jokes. Story 12. Not a drill sergeant. Back in 2000 at Paris Island, we were doing Warriors Breakfast after the Crucible. The series commander are asking questions like, Where are you from? And why did you join? And so forth. They get to this Cambodian kid, and they ask him why he joined up. His response was, Because it was raining. The series commander is like, Explain. It turns out the kid was fresh off the boat in New York City, didn't speak any English, and it started raining so he ducked into a recruiter's office. They signed his ass up and he just went along with it. He learned English in boot camp. Story 13. Context. In Army basic training, anything said to a drill sergeant needs to end with their title. Yes, drill sergeant. No, drill sergeant. So early into basic, our drill sergeant was handing out our equipment. He asks my buddy for his serial number. Buddy rattles it off, so the drill sergeant, not having heard his title given, asks him, Who the F do you think you're speaking to? A drill sergeant? An a-hole? A d-head? My buddy, realizing he forgot the title and now fully flustered, goes to say, Apologies, drill sergeant. but instead says, "Apologies, Dad." Both their eyes got wide at the same time in totally different ways. The private realized he may not survive what comes next. The drill sergeant is giddy with excitement that a private just called him a d-head to his face. Exercise ensued. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and activate the bell button to receive notifications to my latest videos.